Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Firstly, I would just like to thank all of you guys for the support that you've given me on my college application video. I've read all your kind comments and I would like to say thank you so much. This video is going to be a stats video on how I was able to get into Cornell University, and I hope that with this video, this information may be helpful to all my juniors, rising seniors who are applying for college. Just know that with faith, you are able to get into any school you want, so please keep that in mind while I say my stats. I applied to Cornell regular decision and I come from a medium-sized public school. Also, a disclaimer, I will be reading stuff off of a computer because I can't remember all my stats by heart. Also, there is a lot of background noise. If you hear anything, please disregard that. It is a very sunny day, so people are outside and having fun. So with that, let's get on to the general stats. So starting off with GPA, I have a 4.4 GPA weighted and a 4.1 GPA unweighted, but I applied with the 4.4 weighted GPA on my Common App. Next is my class rank, and for my class rank, I was 4th out of around 270 students. I'm not sure if this is like a lot or not. For like the other classes in my grade, the other classes have like around 300 kids. So in my school, the senior class is actually one of the smaller classes, but I was 4th in my class, so I was obviously in the top 10. Next is test scores. I did not take the ACT, and for the SAT, I went test optional, but I did take a couple of AP tests. My school doesn't offer like a huge number of APs, but I did submit, I'm pretty sure I submitted a 4 that I got on the AP Gov exam. Next, I'm going to name my honors/awards that I put on my Common Application. So the first one was the Connecticut Association of Boards of Education Student Leadership Award. That is a state level award, and I got this in 11th grade. This one, I didn't have to fill out an application or anything. I'm pretty sure it was chosen through a vote and I was picked for that one. Next honor was the Youth at its Best Essay Winner and Volunteer Award. For this award, you do have to write an essay, so I wrote an essay and I submitted it to the committee and I was chosen for this award. And this is like a state/regional level award. The next one I put was the group recipient of the President's Volunteer Service Award. This one I put in the national and state level for awards, and I do think that like my community service was a strong part of my application, so I was so grateful to receive this award. I received this award for 11th grade and 12th grade, so I was able to receive it twice. The 4th award I had on my Common App was the Cornell Book Award, which I got during my award ceremony for 11th grade, and this was, I think they do this, I don't think they do this at all schools, but it was just something that they did at my school, and just, I don't remember like the criteria, but this is not something you apply for, it's picked by the staff at your school. And the last award that I put, I actually had a really hard time for this one because I had so many that I could choose, but I just decided to go with the fact that I was honor roll, so 4.0 GPA all 4 years / first honors. I did have other awards I could choose from, but I just liked how this one showcased like my strength through all 4 years of high school. Now on to extracurriculars, which I think were possibly very strong in my opinion, and I'm going to be naming the 10 that I used on my Common Application. Just a heads up, although I will only be naming the 10 that I used on my Common Application, and the additional information section, I did name a lot of more extracurriculars that I was involved in, because I was involved in a lot of different types of activities all through my 4 years of high school, and I would go in depth. I wouldn't just list them. I would name like leadership positions, if any, and how I contributed to each extracurricular. So if you have like a bunch of extracurriculars and you don't have enough space to put 10, I definitely encourage using the additional information section. Also, I did use the additional information section to go more in depth about some of the extracurriculars I already had in my top 10 list. So starting off with the list, probably one of my biggest extracurriculars throughout high school was the fact that I was in my church's Pathfinder Club. This is a club for Adventists, and honestly, all I can say is that you do so much while you're in this club. I started it in 10th grade all the way up through 12th grade, which I'm in now, and it's basically a scouting group, but it's co-ed, so not like Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts, it's co-ed, and it encourages like leadership, spiritual growth, sorry, I'm reading off of here a bit, and life skills. So I am currently a TLT, which is like team leadership training. I have been a captain before, I have been a leader before. Currently I am the teacher for the companion class, so a lot of leadership going on there. Also through this club we do a lot of volunteer work, which is like probably one of the biggest parts of my application, which was my community service. So yeah. For my second extracurricular, I put the fact that I was a volunteer at my local library. So I did tutoring. I also did like helping out like with crafts, helping out with different camp groups. And this was actually the service that led me to get the group President's Volunteer Service Award for 2 years. And I was in this extracurricular for only 2 years, but I would participate like all year, and then also in the summer. The third extracurricular I spoke about was the fact that I was a volunteer for my church, and I merged this one with a food pantry that I volunteered at. So at my church we host events, we serve food to people in our community, organizing goes on in this like extracurricular, so still a lot of community service. So yes. The next one I put was the Yale Inspired Ed Club that I am treasurer in, and for this club we organized a school-wide cultural festival, which I participated in. I led a Haiti info section where I presented it to over 100 people at my school, and I'm like the lead fundraiser for that club. So I think the cultural festival was honestly the best thing that we were able to pull off, because we were able to teach so many people at our school about the different cultures, and it was super fun. Next extracurricular is the fact that I am the student representative to the Board of Education for my school. So I go to speak to the board leaders every single month. I give reports, I speak about improvements, and I think this is a very important thing to hear student voices in schools and in districts. So this was one thing that I felt was very strong about my application, and I got chosen this grade, so I've only been participating this year. Next up is National Honor Society, not only membership, but I'm the peer tutor coordinator. So I communicate with teachers, other staff, like counselors, and I match up student tutors, like student tutoring groups. And it's just like a lot of collaborating with the adults in my school's building. And obviously for National Honor Society separately, we do tons of community service, tons of helping out with school events, and yeah. Next is dance, which I participated in all 4 years, and I was the level up coordinator. I also am an all academic dancer all 4 years, and I have a varsity letter for all 4 years. For my dance team, we also did compete at UDA Nationals. We have won first in our conference, as well as second at states. So those are like, I guess you could say for this year, like while I was applying, our biggest achievements. Next I put is how I'm a color guard for my church. And I was like, I guess you could say like the leader of the American flag for my church, because that's what I would hold, and I would kind of like lead the color guards at every event, and I was also chosen to color guard for 64,000 people at the International Gillette Camporee. So that I think was super exciting, because not that many people get to say that. Next up, I put my work experience, basically, which is like IT, PC technician. I just put like everything that I did for that, and then I was the group leader for a podcast, which I also spoke a little bit about. So those are all my extracurriculars. I could go more in depth, but that would be a super long video. I did put all my extracurriculars, like I said before, I used the additional information section. So yes, I do think that, as well as my essays, were the strongest part of my application. So that'll be it for today's video. I hope that this helped while you guys are applying to college, and I hope that it made you feel calm to see. But honestly, I definitely wouldn't have gotten in if it wasn't for God, of course, Jesus. I prayed so much, and I never once doubted myself throughout this whole application season. No matter how many rejections I was receiving, I never once doubted myself, and I just kept praying, and in the end, my prayers were answered. So I am so blessed, and I am so thankful. And this is just to say to make sure you guys keep on praying, because my college decision journey is truly a testimony of God's greatness. And if I didn't share that, I don't know, like, this is really what I had to share, because I really give all the glory to God for me to be able to get into an Ivy League university. So I thank you guys so much for watching, and I don't know, but I really want to vlog visiting, so let's get on with the video. Thank you so much for watching.